Hey, it's Timothy Bames. My name is Timmay, the show host of Who That 242, CEO of Treat Me Good Studio, your favorite social media manager, and here with Shakia and On the Rise.
Guess what, guys? I'm here with Timmay, two-time Vlog of the Year award winner, back to back.
Another one, as DJ Khaled said.
How did that even feel? You know, because I mean that was just the other night. So we have to talk about that first. You know, I can't even ask you how you doing. we have to say
it was the first award of the show, so I was like, oh Lord, I thought
it's the first award.
I thought I had time during the night to like get my nerves ready, but as soon as the show started and the first vlog of the year, I was like, so I usually like last year, I just was like, okay, when they announced it, I kind of get like, I don't freeze, but I just started to feel my, you know, like your hair stand up. And they said, and it was a friend of mine, Aoife, she's a vlogger as well, who said, winner is Timmay. And I forgot to thank my videographer and speak out because I usually.
I saw a future posting that you did where you said, you know, if it wasn't for.
Yeah, sure, I can like Focus Films because after the awards, I went to. I'm a big soccer fan. I went to the Bungie Garland concert.
Right.
And I was with him. I said, because he wrongly said, yeah, but you even. I said, we win. I said, we win. He said, but you even thank me. He said, you're sick. I don't know if you got something.
But how did that feel? I mean,
it felt gratifying. I started doing this just because I wanted to do it, and I've tried to stop a few times just because I felt like I was making a mark. Every time I stopped, something happened. It was a magazine cover, or I got an award, or something like that.
And you tried to stop in your vlog journey.
I tried to stop it, yeah, because
you actually tried to stop.
So I started 2014 because I was managing a few artists, and I wanted them to be more popular. So I did them about 8 or 9 episodes, and I stopped because like, okay, like that was that. I created it for that reason. It's finished. That same November, December, I went to this conference. I created music seminar. So just like a seminar, this guy Focus, he was Dr. Dre's producer. So he was there, like big names. TLC's former manager, like big names, and a lot of the music community went. Hey Timmy, where your show, man? My name is so and so. Like all the HC boys, it's like I work very hard to come on your show. So that blew me away because I created this with my friends, but you also as an avenue to work towards to come on my show. So I was like, let's have a purpose. Right. And so those same guys I interviewed. Then at that point, it was starting hard to find people to shoot the show, and I felt like I was forcing people to kind of see my vision. So I was like, you know, I just I'll just stop. And then that year, I was featured on the cover of E-Life as one of the storytellers with the Kia Wells, Spink Sands, and Nika Keita Style, and Theo McLean, the photographer, and others. So I was like, okay, let me go back at it. I had a cover of a magazine, and I gotta go push at it. And then I did it again, but it was getting even harder to find people to shoot my show. So I was like,
after all of that, it was still hard to find people.
Because everyone wants money. I mean, money is nice.
And it takes money to do this.
But I was doing it for free. I was doing it for the passion, for the love. And then everyone was like, well, why? It really and truly didn't take like maybe 15 minutes to shoot my show. But they see it as, oh, that's so much work. And so I had to teach myself how to edit. And I found at the time I was working at BTC, and my boy Ross, he helped me out. So he would shoot for me and I would edit. That was that. But then my day job was getting to be too much work. Right. And I was like, oh, I stopped. And then I got nominated for the first Elevation Award. It's like, oh, I have to just go crazy. And last year I met Sherrod, and we dropped 38 episodes last year.
38 episodes.
Out of 52 weeks, we dropped 38 episodes.
Wow.
Like I went ham last. And even after last year, after I won the first Elevation and I got nominated for second, I said, I am finished. I am done.
But why would you want to be done after accomplishing all of that?
You said it's balance. It's a toll. It's a toll mentally. And at the time, I became a father last year. I became
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's like
Hi, Z.
Zai.
Sorry. Well, how much person say Z?
Everybody.
Oh, exactly.
Z is the Chinese pronunciation. Zai is the Greek pronunciation.
Hi, Zai.
So that's the issue. It's a toll. It really takes a lot on you to be doing a full-time job and to be a full-time and doing this. So at that point, I was like, I was 80 episodes in. There weren't really that much more, in my opinion, artists who, and people always hit me up, why don't interview me, because I don't interview you just because you're musical. You have to have a story, you have to have all these things.
Right, it has to fall in line with your platform. When it came to the
people who I wanted to interview, or the people who I thought stories would change other people's lives, I think I was out here musically wise. And then I got featured in the Huffington Post after winning 3 awards last year. And Cable Bahamas approached me and was like, we want you to come on TV. So I was like, I was already about to end the show.
And it was about to end when Cable Bahamas asked you?
Because I already shot the rest of my episodes for the rest of the year. Okay. And I was like, I still felt like I wanted to end it because who I could find. That's why I opened up my show, because there used to be whispers, why didn't you only interview musical artists? Because that's what my love is. So that's why I opened the show to be more than just music.
But I think you are definitely on the rise, you know. So that is why I wanted to have you here to have a chat with you, because a lot of persons see Timmay and they wonder, you know, what is it like to get up close and personal with him? Like you said, you got recently engaged, you know, so we saw those beautiful engagement pics coming up, and then we have your beautiful baby girl and your award-winning journey. And I can imagine, like you said, it is a lot. It takes a lot of balance. You have your day job, you have your shooting and filming that you do in the evening time. How do you manage to make sure that you are evenly stretched out? Because, you know, your little girl, she only knows daddy. She don't care if daddy have this music artist to interview or to talk to. She wants her daddy. So how do you balance everything out, especially after a long day? What do you do?
Say on a Monday, I know that maybe Tuesday and Thursday I have Zai, so I can't plan nothing for that night. Okay. But this is Thursday now.
Oh, you say, hold on, this is a Thursday.
Yeah, so my mommy keeping the night. So I said, Mommy, you gotta be Grammy tonight.
Thanks, Rami.
So it's like I really plan on my weeks. So my days way far ahead. So like for instance, on a Saturday, when I do with the TV show, instead of shooting one episode a week, because it's TV, you have more editing, more less room to mess up. I shot like 5 episodes in one weekend, and so that was really difficult on me because I wanted to be so far ahead.
Right.
Day job 9 to 5, 10 to 6. But I try not to waste time. So in that night, if I have free time, like say my fiance is busy or I don't take it anxiety, I make sure to do something constructive that night towards my brand.
So you're always busy, like very little breathing room, but you make time to have fun. Because we've seen your postings.
Yeah. But it's lucky for me that my passion is entertainment and I love what I do. So I try to always mix it. So even like after the awards, I could have just gone home and lay down. But then
it was time to celebrate.
Bungie is my favorite soca artist, and I probably won't see him again until next May. So I was like, I was tired. I was tired after the awards, but I had to force myself to go to the concert. I would have been mad next month, same month. Like I missed that.
You missed that. So tell us about how transferring over to cable, what has it done for your brand? And we look at cable and we say, oh, you know, TV is everything, but social media is also everything, and in the 21st century that we live in. So how has transferring over to cable to Rev, how has that been for you?
It's been, so some people like you, not like you, but some people say like, are you going on TV? You don't watch TV. We don't watch TV. We don't. I literally don't turn my TV on to watch basketball. But our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, they watch. So it's like, I have uncles who's like, yeah, big time I see TV. So it was that, I want that the checker of my list. Like to some other people, a TV show might be nothing, but to me in this field, it's still
expansion.
It's still type of prestige to say, hey, I on TV. So I could have stayed on social media and probably be to see more people, but you never know if you don't try. It wouldn't hurt me because only difference was I could do episodes as long as I want. I could go from 5 minutes to 2 hours, but for cable need to be 27 minutes exact. Right. So that always. So sometimes I might have a guest who can't talk, so I'd have 2 guests on one show. Oh, so a lot of my episodes this season I have two guests, so I have to split in half, and that's shooting wise. It's like one side, like how we here now for this was for vlog, we could talk for hours until we finish. With cable, I have to know that I have 7 minutes a break, 7 minutes a break, or if I know if it's one guest, 9 minutes a break, 9 minutes a break. So it's more thinking on the go with the transfer. When it comes to outside fans, a lot of people now, older folks, would say, "Hey, I saw you on TV last night." Who probably have never watched my show before.
Right. And when you talk about persons seeing you on TV, you also talk about potential employers as well. So how has that played a role in building your brand? I wouldn't even say just TV, but just building your brand. You mentioned you have a day job, and I'm sure as you grow...
I got my day job because of my brand. I 100% have my job because of my brand. So I was working for a company, and I sent in my resume to this I worked at Fusion Superplex just to see like what happened. And
Fusion Superplex, okay.
And they just said, hey, well, you was Timmay, we need you. Like, and not so much words, and that blew my mind because I do what I do so I could be out there, so I don't have to introduce myself, but it still blows my mind. People, I still do. I still hi, I'm Timmay, and people is like curse me out. I know who you is, like don't introduce yourself to me. So my brand is really, and I always tell people, and someone told me this maybe back in 2014, two things that really I still do every day. If you're laying social media, post every day. So do what you have to do. Post it because it doesn't matter. Like they say, if it's tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, there's a tree really fall. If you do all this greatness, if you don't share with the world, no one knows.
But it is not just posting on social media, though. To me, it's being relevant with your posting. It's about timing. Do I post in the morning? Do I post in the evening? And what do I post? You know, so talk about that for a minute with your platform. How it relates to your platform, and guiding someone who just wants to build a brand. It doesn't even have to be with what you're doing. It's just building a brand. Talk about posting and how social media has helped you with your brand in regards to posting.
So I spoke at a social media panel a few weeks ago. Shanta, she said, and when she said this, I can't believe I actually was doing this because we spoke about it together. She said what she does was she stays in her lane of three things. So she's a mother, she's a marketer, so she posts these three things. But before, and I could have backed up, but before I heard that, what I done was, I know I like basketball, movies, music, gaming culture. So because I've never once called myself an entertainment blogger until someone called me it. But how do I get other people? So what I like to tell people is let other people tell your story for you because it's more organic. It's something I said. So I want you to know that I love basketball, music, movies, and gaming culture. That's all I post. I post myself. I post my favorite basketball player, Dwayne Wade. I post my favorite album. I post an event I go to. So for 2 years straight, I literally only was posting or talking about four things: gaming culture, movies, basketball. And I did that for 2 years every day to the point where someone randomly asked, what to me like, well, he's always talking about this Dwayne Wade basically basketball. So that's my thing with building your brand. It has to be organic. It has to be what you genuinely like. So it doesn't feel like a job. Yes, you have to do it in a way constructively where you have to do it every day. Like I have friends who wants to build a brand, but they hate the thought of having to post their life and
on social media. But they don't want to be open.
Right, but if you want to, you have to share something. You have to become personable. You can't be posting memes and quotes all day and things and expect your followers to grow. Because I have a friend who
memes and quotes
their entire Instagram page, meme, quote, meme. One picture of them, meme, quote. So like it has to be real. So when it doesn't have to be, you have to tell them I eat chicken in the bag, here at 5 a.m. It has to be so precise. But if you're a foodie, if people don't use a foodie, post what you eat. Post it 5 days later, but post it though.
Right.
And give it and the picture. I love video and picture because a picture is 1,000 words. So imagine and video is moving pictures. So that's like 1,000,000 words.
Right.
But the actual words and the caption means a lot. Like I had a friend, he asked me how can he go about posting his accomplishments without being braggy. You are him. He's a funny person by nature. So it's social media. You don't have to be. Because he's a natural guy, so he's used to being strict. But you could be a comedian, like say today is with these kids, like you could be yourself. So it has to be organic. It has to be you. Like I can't want this one day. I love food. I'm a foodie.
I'm a foodie as well. Like, they bring in food with these trends. Great.
My money, I look for to go with to spend food, but at the same time, my wordplay isn't good with describing food. I can't think about the texture, so I won't even try fake and be like, "Oh, this burger." This and that. No, because that ain't me. But you know I love food, but when I talk about it. So I know I'm not a chef. So even though I love those, I know I can talk music and talk about basketball. So stay in your lane.
And that's so important that you said that, to stay in your lane. And so in growing your brand, it is very important to know what you love, know what you want to do in life, and kind of harness that by staying in your own lane. And I don't think anybody can ever say that they've seen you try to dip into anything and have been, number one, unsuccessful because you've always stayed in your lane and you've allowed social media to help you with that. Now, having said that, have you ever been fearful of anything?
So I'm tired tongue, and as you say, I speak fast.
Right.
People have been begging me maybe from 2010 to me go be a reporter, to me go be a...
But hold on, before you continue with your story, right? You know, I wanted to ask you that a long time, right? Like, because we all have these things about us that we wish we could improve, or we wish that it just didn't exist at all. And that is something that you didn't allow to hold you back, and that's admirable. So I always wanted to ask you, how did you deal with that?
I literally people have been begging me for years.
Come put that right here. Thank you.
People have been begging me for years because I used to always annoy them talking about basketball, talking about sports, talking about music. So at that point, I used to just write a lot. write, or they was like, I mean, you're a good writer, but we can't hear your passion through words. Go in front of the mic. I say, no, but I hate my voice. I literally hate something. I love to talk, but I hate my voice. It wasn't until about 2013, that's when I was, so I was COB, studying CIS, Computer Information Systems. I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. But I knew I liked technology, and, but I was failing, cutting my hair. So that summer 2013, I started working in sports radio. And at that point, I still never thought that I could do this full time. But in sports radio, like, I hosted 2 shows. I hosted a sports show in the afternoons. I hosted my own show, College Talk, on Saturdays. And that really put me in my zone. And then people was like, finally, I told you. And that just the fact that people was telling me they enjoyed the show put me in a comfortable space. I still hate my voice, but now I'm reaching the people who I was trying to reach by writing.
Right.
So after sports radio for like a year, I said, YouTube has made the world smaller. I could just go on YouTube and do this. So I had a sports vlog with my friend, my business partner, Ahmed knows. And that's how I started Who That. I really started Who That because my business partner said, hey, I have a camera. I want more work with my camera, but I need you to be a host. No, stop using me as a guinea pig. But she's like, I need you.
Right.
And that's how Who That started. She said, make a show. I said, what can I start a show about? But I'm managing 2 music artists. Let me make a show to interview them. But I need a name. What we like to do, would you always ask it? Who that is? Who that is?
And that's how you came up with Who That?
Who that is? So I take out the TH, I put in D, and that's how Who That came about.
Okay, so you just talked about how you just overcame your fears, and that's not really easy for some people. And you also touched on another thing. I don't know if you realized it when you said you're a techie, and you was taking up a course, CIS, and it was cutting your hair. It wasn't making no sense. And this is actually a question from one of your followers. What do you say to somebody who would just love to pursue a different passion in school? This is something that's passion that's burning inside of them, but they have already enrolled in another course. How do they deal with that? Because of pressure from their parents, pressure from their peers, pressure from everywhere that they can think of. How do you deal with that if you are already in that program and you want to switch?
Just do it. First of all, I always tell people, like, don't choose something because you see it working with somebody else and you want to do that. Don't fall in love with don't fall in love with the end result. You have to fall in love with the process. So if you love something, the process makes you excited. If switching to that other course excites you, gets the fire rolling, you gotta do it. But if you only switching to that course because you're excited about what could happen at the end of the day, you're gonna fail.
And it's amazing that you should say that, because a lot of persons don't realize the work that goes into being a vlogger or into social media posting. That's why you can't be random with it. A lot of persons, you just mentioned your 9 to 5 and then doing your Who Dat filming. It is a lot of work.
Agreed.
You
like social media is a 24/7 job. That's what I say 9 to 5 because I had a desk 9 to 5, but you have to always be mindful. Like when I was at BTC, I had the BTC, that's the big company, so that's people come in all the time. I had to be always aware. If something happened, I had to hurry up and come back that. So you can't never turn off. Like when you leave work at 5 o'clock, you could leave that. No, social media, you are always on the clock. You are always on the, you don't get a break. You don't get a break. And I went social media. I wasn't even supposed to go into social media. I dropped out of the COB because I had already made 3 because I already made Who Dat. Did a year in journalism, and I was like, pursue this marketing full time. But one thing people get confused a lot, that communications and marketing are 2 different things. 2 different things. Just because you can communicate, it means you can market and vice versa. So my dumb self, thinking I can just pursue marketing.
Right.
After a month, I got hired to PTC, and it was either social media or events. And my journalism background, because I could write, they needed someone who's good English, in social media, and that opened up everything where I could use my journalism ability. I could use, I could learn, and in journalism, COB, you also learn to use a camera. So I was able to take pictures, do video, all of that hosting, and the vlogging really came from the fact that I was learning to be a reporter in class. So I got taught the skills to be a broadcast reporter, but I applied into being a vlogger.
What would you say to industry professionals, like persons who love marketing, like myself, like many others out there, and you also have this journalism background, how do you combine, I wouldn't say combine the two for yourself, how do you work with others in the field to make sure that the collaboration fits? You understand? Because one needs the other. So you are in social media marketing on your 9 to 5, but you also work with a marketing team. So how do you ensure that your marketing team gets what they need to get, or gives you what you need to have in order to make your social media marketing benefit and maximize its potential?
When it comes to work, I always make sure I work with people who are better than me than certain things. So if I'm better, I can't work with a marketing coordinator if I'm personally better. I'm a better marketing coordinator, because I don't want to tell you to do your job.
Right.
So I always try to surround myself with people who are better than me.
Right.
So like I say my name, so I know I'm good at social media, and I rely and it's trust. I trust that you are a marketing coordinator, and it works. And when you have trust, it works smoothly. You can't be big and mighty in your marketing chair, your graphics chair, your this chair, that you're trying to tell someone that's going to do their job. Trust that, and if you have to give criticism, don't ever come from a place of disrespect, or like, you know,
correct,
give a suggestion. So as a the person, the marketing team, they know what I would require. If they don't, I tell them, I need this.
Right.
It doesn't come from a place of, you need to give me this. Hey, I need this information from you. Can you give me it? Wow. You tell me you need something, she tell me you need something, I give it to them. And it doesn't have to be a competition, because we working towards the same goal.
Right.
So,
right.
But I think it's trust. Trust that they know they do it, and they have to trust that I know they do it.
And as we even talk about trust and growing in the industry, do you find yourself being a little bit more trusting with the persons that you work along with persons who follow you and they just want to have a chat with you? Do you find yourself being a little bit more trusting with giving over information to help others? I
have this motto that my plan can't work without me. So I have no problem telling people, because I feel like I kind of lucked into this. I did this. I didn't plan for this. I didn't go to school for this. I came up off of just hard work. So if you put what I know with somebody who actually been dreaming of this since they was born, amazing. I always say, if I'm not the person that changes the country, I want to be the spark that caused the fire, that burn it down. So if either me telling someone something either causes the wave or changes it, I don't care. I just want to be a part of it, one way or the other.
Right. And in addition to your speech, I wouldn't say it's even a speech impediment, because it doesn't even, to me, it doesn't even exist, you know, and you've overcome it. So I don't even want to acknowledge it as something like that. But has there ever been any other setback or life challenge that has come before you and has put you at a halt in your progress?
Well, many of I couldn't find somebody who really finding people to work with, like videographers. That was really what slowed me down, because I was like, it must be a reason why I can't find something that can see me with me, because I wasn't making the money from this, so I can't pay you money I don't make. Right. That's the other thing. So for 2 or 3 years, people thought like I was at every event, but y'all don't know that I was asking people to come to these events. I was paying to get to the event, just to shoot the event. But let's stop. Let's talk about that for a while, because see, and this is what I'm realizing as I talk to my guests. Persons don't realize what it takes to climb the ladder, to take the stairs to get to a successful place in life. You had to go out there and ask. You cannot be afraid to do that. Oh, and that's the thing. You can't see asking as a weakness, because people always say, why are you asking them? Close mouth don't get fed. The first time I started Trade Amigos Media, we started as a music management company. But you know, there's really rich industry in the Bahamas, so that couldn't really pay the bills. So we go on more into the photography and videography. My business partners are better photo shoot photographers than I, so that's like the main thing. And wedding videographers, I don't care about that. I'm also like event photos and event videos. But even that, before, other than Carnival, you would only have maybe every 3 or 4 months a promoter actually hire an event photographer or videographer to shoot events. So what I had to do was I had to prove to the promoters that this is something you need. I had to go to these events with my camera, and I bought a camera with money I didn't have. You save lots of money. I bought a camera, I started paying to go to these events, and taking the pictures, I posted them on my page the next day, tagging these people, tagging these artists, tagging these promoters, getting the likes up. Like a year and a half, now all of a sudden, every single event you have 5 or 6 photographers. When I started doing events, that wasn't really the case.
So it caught on.
It wasn't the case. These promoters didn't. I said, let me come to your event. For what?
Why I need you?
Why? Because you want people to see the people at the event. You want people to see. I mean, 3 days was doing the thing. 3 days used to have the thing with photos. 3 days was at certain events. So, and then after, it clicked last year to where people start. I no longer have to ask somebody to come to the event. Either I show up and they see my face on my camera and they say, "Oh, come in," or they call me ahead of time and say, "Wait, I need you. I pay you to do this for me."
I noticed you do a lot of branding as well. I've seen the Timmay shirts, and that's definitely an important aspect of what you do. Branding yourself, putting your name out there, and collaborating with others in the industry. Any mentors along the way? Anybody that you looked up to? Anybody that you went to for advice? Anytime you were stuck, you say, "Okay, I can call and I can text, I can WhatsApp." You know, anybody that you leaned on.
So, like I said, I worked at BTC for a year and a half, and I worked. That's for Arnold Ferguson, the greatest e-life. After so everything, and we sat in the same office. So everybody needs something for how to do this. And Jahali someone too, he's my supervisor at the time. I said, "Jahali, how do this?" And Rock was no deal. He collage. So like all this was like the crew, the BTC crew.
Right.
And that was the time, and they used to like Robbie, Timmay, learn to edit. Wait, I don't want to. Wait, like I can just pay this person. Like, but you must live good. You can pay somebody to edit for you. But those three collectively taught me how to edit, and my career then took off, and I was able to edit my own videos because now I could go to the event, shoot a little quick minute video, edit it, and get paid a couple dollars for that. And that would be impossible without them. Without them, I would have been just here, in front of the camera, having to let someone else shoot for me and wait on their time to get my content.
Wow.
Now I could either, if I'm really desperate, set up the camera to the interview. They say something like a super chase, he come in town tomorrow, and I have to interview him in like 5 minutes. I have to, because I always keep my camera
right, you always have it on
me. So it's like, oh, I gotta go. At that point, I can't tell Jay-Z I can't interview because I have to reach this person. I have to say yes or no.
Right.
So I could show up, do the interview, and boom. Whereas if I didn't have that ability or that confidence in my ability, I would be like, oh, I can't do it.
How do you give us a sneak peek into Timmay next year or the year after?
Next year.
I mean, you don't have to tell us everything, you know, just where you want to take your breath.
I love my sit-down interviews. But when I used to do a lot of art event interviews, like that energy, so I want to try get back in it next year. Because right now when I go to events, I either enjoy it or I do wonder, because I like to see the excitement in people's faces. I like to show that.
Right.
But I miss being able, because I have friends on like the KJ who do that now and work with us. Sometimes I shoot,
that's
I shoot
the big thing with events.
Sometimes
now.
I shoot for her. And I miss being able to be the person in front of the camera at the event with the superstar. Like, it's still good enough to be here, but I miss being in front of the camera with my favorite artists. So that's what I'm trying to get back to that next year.
Right, with your artists. Great stuff. Give us a quote or a scripture verse that you live by. This is something that Timmay holds near and dear to his heart, and this is something that he lives by.
I don't know if this is the exact quote, but I always like mix it around. I truly believe that God puts his strongest people through the worst things. Like I don't know what the exact quote is, so I always do it around.
I know what you mean.
I honestly feel like if things are that hard, it's a reason. Like he knows how far to reach a breaking point. So and I also feel like everything's for a reason. So if he put you through all this, because he wants you to learn something.
Right.
So everything things is hard, I'd be like, okay, what is it? I have to learn. What is it? Let's try it out.
Re-encourage people. So let me ask you this last question, and you need to look straight into the camera to answer this. Straight into the camera to answer this. In 2018, would you say that you are on the rise?
I think I'm about 2 more steps away from being at the top of the mountain in 2018.
But are you on the rise? You want to answer the question?
Sorry. Yes, I'm floating. Yes, I'm on the rise.
Bye, everyone.